Hi, Monika Stout here with YummyArts, and today I'm going to teach you how to make an elegant chocolate cake using chocolate transfer sheets. So the first thing we're going to do is make ganache. Now, I swear by ganache. I use it under all my fondant, and if you've watched any of my previous videos, I've given you the recipe, but I've never shown you how to make it. So today I'm going to show you how to make it. And I use a 2-to-1 ratio of ganache. I've measured out my chocolate, and this is 600 grams of chocolate. And now I'm going to do 300 milliliters of heavy cream. So it's 600 to 300, so it's 2-to-1 ratio. And I'm going to heat the heavy cream in the microwave until it's boiling. So I'm going to go do that, and then we're going to pour it over our chocolate, and I'm going to show you how to mix it all up. So I've got our heavy cream, and it's just boiling, and I'm going to pour it over our chocolate. And these are Ganache chocolate appeals. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute. So I want to get them all kind of covered and let it sit and melt, do its thing for a minute. Now I'm going to take a whisk and slowly start mixing it in. Now the thing about ganache is for the first few minutes it looks spoiled. It starts to look like it's curdled and gone bad, and you can see from the top there it doesn't look very good. But I'm going to keep mixing with my whisk and getting the chocolate up from the bottom, and keep mixing, and you can see it's starting to come together, and I'm going to have a nice smooth chocolate ganache. Sometimes you get lumps of chocolate in your whisk. You want to kind of get those out of there because you want those to mix in with your rest of your chocolate and get nice and smooth. So here we go, we're mixing that all up. And you're just going to keep mixing it till you get a nice smooth consistency. And then we're going to use that ganache, and we're going to do a poured ganache over our cake. So this is ready to go, and we'll come back and I'll show you how to pour it over your cake. All right, so now we're ready to use our chocolate transfer. Now the chocolate transfer I've chosen to use today, you might not be able to see it. You'll be able to see it better when it's on the chocolate, but it is snowflakes. We're going to use little white snowflakes. Now you can get chocolate transfers in anything. I also, just for an example, have these sheets you can see that are just kind of gold swirls. They make chocolate transfer sheets in every different kind of patterns. They have words that say happy birthday, Merry Christmas. You can use whichever one you want. I'm kind of going with a little bit of a winter themed cake, so that's why I chose the snowflakes. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I want to cut my chocolate into strips, is I have to draw out a template. So I've taken a piece of parchment paper and I've drawn my template because I'm going to use these strips to cover around the cake. So all I did was take my ruler and I just measured about 1 inch apart. So I then drew a line and then measured the next one, drew a line, measured the next one, drew a line, and then measured the crossway so that I knew how long my pieces are going to be. And you've seen, this is how big the transfer sheet is. My lines go way beyond the transfer sheet because once I put the chocolate on here, I'm not going to be able to see the lines under here. I have to go by the lines on the outside of my transfer sheet. So you want to make sure that when you do your lines, everything is inside. So my lines, my rules that I have here are inside the transfer sheet, so I know that all of these are going to have transfers on it. From here you can see I know that my transfer sheet is bigger, so everything that I'm tracing is inside this, same way, and this way, but also that my lines extend out past the transfer sheet so that when I'm doing my cuts, I have something to measure against, because I'm not going to be able to see the lines underneath the transfer sheet once I have my chocolate on here. So now it's time to melt our chocolate and put it on here, and we'll start with our transfer sheets.